Alright, welcome back to the Nations Cup 2023, and we've got Brazil A versus Vietnam A here in the main game. So we've got Team Brazil here with Fire on the Saracens in the blue, Goku on the Slavs in the green, Miguel on the Magyars in the light blue, and Dogao on the Ethiopians in the silver trunks. So this is Team Brazil here, while we've got Team Vietnam over here, consisting of Bad Boy in the orange on the Portuguese, Fish in the Franks on the purple, Chu Kuei on the Poles in the yellow, and Say My Name here in the red on the Mayans. For Dogao, Chu Kuei, hoping to try and win a trade, Scout versus Scout here. Chu Kuei realizing that he's not going to come out on top there, so he's just disengaging. Dogao realizing it's only going to be another 3 hits and his Scout kills his opponents, so he's actually going to try and lock down the enemy Scout and do exactly that. In fact, it looks like Dogao's Scout going to get extremely close, nearly able to do it there, but Chu Kuei trying to actually bait Say My Name a little bit here, who pulls a villager off to try and attack that Scout, because no doubt there's going to be an attempt to try and lane this boar potentially, or even just attack the hunter. Over here on the left side of the map, we got the same approach here with, again, Team Brazil pushing up with a Scout, try and potentially mess up the acquisition of the boar here. Sorry, so Fire, yeah, messing up the attempt at Bad Boy hitting the boar, just like Say My Name. Gonna have that difficulty from Dogao, even with Chu Kuei's Scout coming in to try and assist things over there. But it looks like Bad Boy is going to get that boar after all, but looks as though everyone's able to get away with their Scout. Though Chu Kuei not left with a lot of health on his. Dogao, neither. Only down to 9 health on his Scout. Ultimately, still having it alive no matter what still gives you the benefit of being able to scout with it and being able to help bring the deer back under your town centre, so you've got efficient hunting. You don't have to worry about investing in a mill over here. So Ethiopians, pretty fearsome archer civilization. Magyars, nice cavalry civ, particularly light cavalry. They are horsemen light. Slavs, I'm not so sure about. This is going to be a bit of a problem with the ticker here. Have to go down. That's Mayans. Who's Mayans? Hey, when it does this. Slavs, so. Yeah, here, Goku's Slavs. Infantry and siege civ. Extra farming benefit for him as well. Ethiopians, Dogao, really nice archer civ once again. Why isn't it showing the Magyars here? Portuguese. Yeah. This is all jumbled because I'm actually doing this on a older recording. So Magyars. Again, very nice cavalry civ. Very hard to actually introduce the civs when the recording system is doing this to me. We got Fire. One of these is going to be Fire's thing once again. There we go, Saracens, Fire. Nice camel civ, good trading Market Civ. Reasonable foot archer bonuses with their attack versus buildings as well. That's Brazil's side of Civs. Vietnam, on the other hand, we got Frank's pick here from Fish, so very nice Nightline Civ, as well as cheap castles, so able to really support opponents with castle drops, defensive castles. Poles here for Chukai, so nice cavalry civ. Villagers actually get health regen as well. Also have access to a unique infantry. Light cap can deal trample damage. It's pretty ballin'. Mines here for Say My Name. So he starts out with an extra villager, actually having to pull that villager off early game. Probably not such a huge deal for a civ like Mines. Particularly because, unlike Chinese, you're not having to outlay more overall resources than the amount the villager costs. It's 50 food cost for one extra villager, and on top of that it's a civ with bonus drop-off. So everything does gather slightly more efficiently because it's not having to make the trip back to the drop-off point as often. So having to try and defend against a really aggressive scout from his ally, I mean, not such a huge concern. I mean, from his opponent, probably not such a huge concern. It looks like everything's going to be on here on the two flanks, with Fish already using his scout just to try and slow down the building over here, while over on this right flank we've got Say My Name trying to push in with his archers, but he's going to be fighting against a lot of scout cav here, and a lot of archers. Got support from Jukai already. Fish coming over to support Bad Boy here on the flank for Team Vietnam. Well, Team Brazil, Fire, he's playing pretty passively for the moment, keeping himself nice and walled in. Waiting on Goku to come and assist him a little bit with his own scout cav. He's going to look at pushing out with his archers. Civ did I ultimately miss? Portuguese. Why is it doing this? Here we go, Portuguese. So, Bad Boy 7, the orange trunks. He's got cheaper gold costs for all units, which is always handy, trying to get your later tech. And Pretoria gives you access to infinite resource trickle for all resources at the cost of population space. Top of that, their organ gun unique is a really nice anti-unit siege. I think it's good against both archers and infantry. I think it's really only cavalry and other siege that it actually struggles against. So I've got to Say My Name, having to try and play off the back foot a little bit here. Cheap massing up enough to come and support his ally. There'll be a big push out of the archers here. Come and assist this cavalry. There's already the same composition from the enemy team on the doorstep. Say My Name's starting to lag behind everyone else in terms of score at the moment. Even though he does have comparable eco size. In fact, he's the first player to 34 villages. But I mean, that probably should be a given, as he is the Mines player. Jukai, really nice range ball able to take for his teammate. I mean, really nice cavalry ball able to take for his teammate's range ball there. Over on the left flank we've got Fish just trying to push back Goku to the safety of his teammate Fire here. He's going to have to be a little bit careful though. Just wait for Bad Boy to pump out a little bit more. So both of the flanks for Team Vietnam seemingly struggling a little bit here. Maybe it's in part due to all the pressure put on from the attempt at laming the boar on both sides of the map by Team Brazil. And I mean, it's only score. It's not necessarily a true indicator of the outcome of the game. But at this stage, there is going to be a slight advantage, I think, for Team Brazil. In saying that, Fire under a bit of pressure here from Fish. But at the same time, he and Goku are trying to worm their way into Bad Boy's base. And it looks as though Dogao and Miguel are through to Say My Name's base. So he's having to back right off a lot of workers garrisoned there. Just to be careful and be defensive, but at the same time, it's going to take out 10 villagers from his gathering eco at the moment. He's been looking to get their castle age in while all this is going on, not wanting to overcommit to their feudal age units. Because realistically, while the archers are going to scale pretty well with crossbow, all these guys that are fielding big numbers of cavalry, other than the Magyar player, are probably going to want to transition to knights as quickly as possible. And even the Magyar player is eventually going to want to transition to knights. It's just that if they get a bunch of these scout cav and encourage their opponent to do the same, it's not as costly for them. And then on top of that, I think they even get attack bonuses to the cav. No, I don't know about that. They definitely get a cost reduction though. It does look very rough here for Team Vietnam, having to back off as the front line there for Chu Kuai being decimated. Now, Say My Name, a lot of his archers are going to fall before they're able to get to crossbow. And Miguel forcing Say My Name to have to do a bit of defensive building. And also take some fights with these villagers against the scout cav there. Over on the left flank, things aren't quite as full on. And it does look like Team Vietnam's actually in a slightly favourable position here, with Fish and Bad Boy on the doorstep of Fire, with Goku in support here. But yeah, over here on the right flank, it has been disastrous here for Team Vietnam today. With some units for Dogao and Miguel still in the base of Say My Name, really making it quite difficult to gather efficiently. He's got a lot of garrison vills. Over on this left flank though, Team Vietnam has come ready for action. Bad Boy Fire exchanging blows here with their crossbows, upgraded from the archers. And our players looking to transition to knight, the cavalry player, so Goku pumping out his first knight now. Even with a pair of, even with a little squad of 4 light cav, all damaged. Fish just gonna wait for his own knights to come pouring in. His little raid here by Dogao and Miguel working together wonderfully. With Chu Kuai forced to try and thin out this crossbow ball, and it's leaving Miguel with the opportunity to keep picking off a couple of villagers for Say My Name, who've headed over here to try and safely gather from the gold, I'm guessing? Either that or he's trying to forward build here on some of the gold or the stone. It's been really quite rough here for Say My Name, having to try and shelter these villagers inside Chu Kuai's base, and costing him quite a bit of gathering time. Also really puts the pressure on his opponent to have to start expanding outside the safety of his walls a little bit earlier. Because of this bigger economy going on inside his base that he's not necessarily benefiting from immediately, so... And it's been really rough for Say My Name here because Dougao continuing to add to his range ball and pressure here. Chikwai has his hands full trying to prevent Miguel from cutting into his base. Bearing in mind, it doesn't really look like there's too much actually ready here to go ripping into action for Say My Name at the moment. He does have some archers garrisoned up and looking to get more, but a while before he's confident he can really do a lot of damage here. He does have a little range ball trying to pressure his opponents, but there's already a mix of knights and crossbows there. And on top of that, these guys look like they're pretty much walled in, other than that little gap there where they must have marched their way through. With production of Chikwai's being taken out, this will be annoying to have to replace because, you know, once he's placed this production, he's mostly looking just to try and get the food and gold he needs to train out of it. Scout Cav not even being upgraded to Light Cav there. Miguel's just gone straight for his own knights. And he's able to take out Chikwai's knights, considering he's got a nice ranged backline of his teammates' crossbows there. It looks as though Miguel and Dougao have basically cleaned up everything on that right flank for the time being. Attempting to pressure Say My Name here, who's doing a great job at recovery. He's got a nice crossbow ball. He should be able to clean up much smaller army count. So things have settled down over on that far right flank, but on the right pocket, it's looking really rough for Chikwai, and now the left pocket might start to cop it a little bit, I think. Because Fish's base is quite open and expansive. Doesn't really have a huge amount on the perimeter to help defend any of these villages. So, on the left flank, it's actually looking quite solid here for Team Vietnam now. And we're looking in trouble on both sides of the paddock, but now, ooh, it seems... Yeah, like they are just going to tap out there. I was going to say, it seems like they'd started to stabilize over here on the right side of the map, but Say My Name... still way down in the village account. I didn't really notice just how many villas he'd lost there and just how much gather time he'd lost. I mean, having those villagers get caught while trying to make their way across to his teammate's base, and I'm assuming he was actually trying to get on the gold and the stone here or try and castle this. It all just has gone downhill for them because now he's really left his teammates in the position where it's basically a 3v4. Not to say he's done anything wrong, it's just mostly that Miguel and Dougao have just put some great pressure on him. Chikwai also, his eco in a much better state than his teammates on the right edge, but he's also started to lose a bit of production and not really in the position to now support Fish, who's starting to cop it as Miguel and Dougao have just shifted back across towards the center of the map, even though Fish and Bad Boy have made great ground here. They haven't really set fire back as much as, say, Fish has been set back on that right edge. So, GG, Brazil A take game number 2 of Vietnam A, and it's 2-0.